Yo, 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 yo. This your girl, Just B.
And this is Blonde Mafia.
So, tonight's episode is all the tea, all the time. We're going to start off with a quiz. Go ahead, just Blonde Mafia.
I was going to
What were you
say
going to say?
all the tea and all the things that we know now that we never wanted to know.
Bingo. So, we're going to start off with a little quiz. You know, back in the day, let me not show my age, but back in the day, they used to say, we're going to put on our thinking caps. Or am I the only one that thought that? Okay. So,
Remember when
question number one.
you used to get the fashion magazines and they used to have the quizzes in the back and it would be like, "Does he love me? Does he not?" And you take the little quiz, like maybe in your little Cosmo or your little Us magazine. You're like, "I choose A, I choose B." If you chose the most C's, guess what, honey? Your man is gay.
I used to do the fortune tellers with the little Chinese fortune teller thing. Yeah, I was supposed to be married with a straight man. You know what? Let me stop. All right. Question number one. We're going to get the ball rolling. Is he interested sexually or always tired? Y'all can sit
Hmm.
down and speak with your girlfriends about that. It was always kind of like not necessarily tired, but yeah, just give me a minute. I'll be there.
Okay, and you and I had very different experiences. However, that question is great because that was a for sure moment for me when I knew something was up because he went from being a sexual person to suddenly being too tired. And that should have been, hello.
Mm. And then number two is, have you caught him watching any gay content? I've never caught him. I had cryptic messages between another person. And I say cryptic because it could go either way. Like it could be a joke, but it's going back to you're in denial. I was in denial for sure.
I never saw anything
Does
either.
he?
I never saw anything either. But so many women in the support group, they did. They caught their men looking at gay porn. So that is also an excellent question, number two.
The number three is, does he have close friendships with men that seem usually intense or secretive? Okay, there were some that were questionable. And because he also has family members that are, it was like, well, maybe that's like a sibling's friend. What about you, Blonde Mafia?
For me, my gay ex chose to not have any male friends. And I realize now it was because he was so scared that he would be outed. I think he knew that. And I guess I'm talking about straight male friends. I think he thought that the straight males would definitely figure him out, would know that he wasn't one of the bros, would know that, he didn't show all the signs of being like they were in social situations. It never occurred to me, to be honest, that this guy doesn't have a whole lot of male friends. Why not? I just sort of always loved it. I was like, yay, hang out with me and my girlfriends. This is a dream come true. But looking back, every straight man wants to have bro night. Let's go hang out with the boys and have a beer. Let's go with the boys and watch football. Let's, whatever it is that they like to do, go hunting, go fishing. I don't know. The straight men I know, that's what they do. That wasn't the case with mine.
So then the next question is, has he made comments about being attracted to men or even as a joke?
Right, because there's
No.
a lot of humor. There's a lot of humor in half-truths, right?
Right. Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
I
Like,
didn't either.
bros before hoes,
Right. Yeah, I didn't get that
literally.
either.
Okay, so avoid discussing LGBTQ topics or reacts uncomfortably. This I did notice I mean, it made sense later, but there is I don't know if anybody's watched 911. The character that plays, what's her name? Angela Bassett's character, her husband comes out. Well, he doesn't come out. She kind of finds out about him. And I remember watching that scene and I'm telling him, I'm like, hey, look at this. Oh my gosh. And he's like, what's going on? I was like, her husband came out. Like, she found out about her husband. But in that show, she was actually trying to, like, first she was mad and she was angry. Then she was like, Okay, how can we make this work? What can I do? What can I do? And now looking back, I know people might think I'm crazy, but even on TV, people can react like, how can we make this work? How can I help you? How can you change? How can you come back to me? How can we save this marriage or this relationship? It does happen in real life. So for those that are not in this situation and you're just listening for the tea or, the gossip or whatever you're here for, it does happen. It is real. This might be our situation, but you might have a situation where we're not used to either. So, number 6, did you have anything, Blonde?
No,
No?
no, I'm with
Okay.
you. Same, same.
Same. Okay. Husband's past relationship raised any concerns about his sexuality? When I look back, again, this is me doing my research, asking the questions, asking more questions. Now it makes sense. The two relationships prior, it does make sense that he wasn't as sexual with them or he was never home. And it was always the woman's issue. Oh, it was always someone else's fault. It was always her problem, her fault. Well, she's asking for too much.
Right, because you
So
have those conversations with someone that you're about to commit your life to. You do. I did. I had those
uh-huh.
conversations with my gay ex, and I wanted to know about his past relationships. He knew about mine. I only had one because I was married for almost 2 decades to my daughter's dad, but I happen to know because of his past career that he was engaged to someone in his sports community, and I wondered why the engagement broke off because they were up to the nuptials, like, they were days away from this situation. And again, looking back, I don't know why I didn't question it more. Because when you look at the past relationships and you go, hey, why didn't this work out? You're going to believe the stories they tell you, but you got to start to question when they've had multiple people almost to the gate, as they say, with the wedding ring on their hands who have bowed out at the last minute.
Right. I agree. I agree. One of the ladies were complaining about they weren't as intimate. As a matter of fact, after 2 months, they were in separate rooms. And then after 6
Which is
months.
crazy, right? Because the first 2 months, your honeymoon stage, you should be doing it all the time.
Right, and after that,
Magenta
I think after
flag.
6 months, magenta, and I think she's still traumatized to this day. She was grateful enough to share, but and that was me trying to do my research to, wonder, "Am I the only one or am I crazy?" So, the next question is and Will Smith. And the thing is, even when he said that, I was like, "Yeah, babe, like, babe
Red
got
table
good
talk,
taste,"
here we
because
go.
I was looking at the physique and the way he dressed, and he was clean with it. I was like, "Yeah, my baby got good taste." That's how my baby wanna look like. That's how you wanna look like. That's not who you wanna be with, man. So, what about you?
I was thinking about the question you just asked.
Because I just flipped it.
It's fine, you can go to the next one.
If he thought of a celebrity in a romantic or
Uh,
admiration. Yeah.
no, absolutely not. Mine was he was a master of disguise. I mean, yes and no. I hate saying that because there were some obvious things which I've spoken about prior and will continue to speak about that should have slapped me in the face. But as far as expressing his opinion of men, he never did it. Never. He never, one of the red flags is supposed to be, do they check out other men? Mine, not that I know of. Again, maybe I was just naive. Maybe I wasn't noticing it because I was so worried about him maybe checking out other women, which I never saw either. But no, he never spoke of celebrities or anyone else for that matter in a manner that made me go, "Huh, that's kind of weird."
Yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought he had really good taste as far as, like, that's his style, like, that's what he wanted to, like, lose weight and be buff, so I was feeling that. I was like, "Oh yeah,
Well,
baby, if you look like Will Smith," So
and
that's what I took it as.
I think too it's because women can appreciate other women and be straight 100%. Like I can see a beautiful actress, I can see a beautiful woman walk down the street, and let me tell you, I'm as straight as they come, okay? I hate to say it, I wish I didn't love men as much as I do, but I do. But I can appreciate a beautiful woman, and I could sit here and go up to her and say, "You are beautiful. You know, your skin is radiant," or whatever it is, and feel comfortable about that. And I don't find that as being off about my sexuality. But with a man, it just is. It just is. Like, that's not something that a straight man does.
Right, right. Well, so
Next,
the next question is, have you ever found dating apps or messages that suggest he might be interested in men? Now,
big one.
well, at the time, no, but towards the end, it was Instagram, and I saw the people he followed. That's actually the first time I realized people could see who you are interested in. People could see who you follow. And I was like, "Oh my god, if I can see it, I wonder if my nieces and nephews, our nieces and nephews can see this."
This is a great one, actually. Thank you for saying this. So, when we get into all of the things that you need to look for, I wasn't paying attention to this until I already knew that my husband was gay. And once I knew, I went back and looked at his social media. And if I would have been paying attention, he was following so many gay profiles, not just random people. I'm talking those social profiles where they're advertising for not necessarily closeted gay men, but they're advertising gay sexuality over 40, you know? There's, in fact, one of them, I can't remember the guy's name, but there's a big podcaster out there who's got tons of listeners, and he was following this man and listening to his podcast, and here's this little old straight wife over here completely oblivious to it. So, stuff like
Wow.
that to pay attention to. Go look at their social media. Go in if you can, go into their Instagram and see who are they following? Are they following a bunch of rainbow flagged, influencers? If so, you might have a clue.
Absolutely. So the next one is, how does your husband react when he sees an attractive woman?
Wah, wah, wah.
So this crazy thing is even dating, I always felt like I was the one, like I was it. I was enough for him, right? So I never felt threatened by any woman. I always felt like he don't want nobody. He don't want no other woman. Well, yeah, of course. 'Cause he barely wanted me, right? I don't know, but I never felt threatened. I never felt worried about some other woman. I always felt like he had his eyes on for me, and he also that's why I realized he overcompensated by being so romantic, so that's why it was kinda hard a little bit,
And I don't know if
because
that's natural. I don't know if that's natural to not be jealous a little bit. I feel like a
no,
natural
he when it comes
inclination.
to
No,
who, for
us.
me to be jealous or for
Yes.
well,
I
I
feel like the
mean, when
natural
you
inclination is to be jealous towards your husband maybe giving attention to other women, and you and I are 100% the same on this one. We thought our men only had eyes for us. I was never
yeah.
worried. Yeah, same. And maybe that's a red flag looking back.
Yeah, I'm about to be asking all types of questions. Look. All right. So the next one is, does he show more interest in spending time with male friends than with you? No, mine was a homebody. He liked being at the house. You had
Yeah.
company, families come over, but yeah, I had a homebody. I had a
Yeah,
homebody.
same.
I was the one that was running the streets. I was like gonna go out with my friend. And then we enjoyed time together, so when we did hang out, I hope y'all are taking notes. So have you ever felt like your husband is overcompensating by emphasizing his attraction to women? There's only one person I knew that he always admired, and that was, what's her name? Gabrielle Union.
She is a
But I
gorgeous
was like
woman.
but I was like, "You ain't never gonna get her. You got me." But, I mean, that was it. If I was threatened by any woman, it was Gabrielle Union. That was it. Blonde Mafia, you said you didn't
Um,
have any of those?
no, he never honestly, he never spoke on sexuality, period, towards attraction towards anyone. Never. It wasn't a conversation we had.
Very calculated.
Very.
So, have you ever noticed a lack of emotional connection in your marriage or relationship that wasn't always there? Mine was towards the end. Things started to shift and he became cold, but that was also because it was a major loss. And so I can get that when there's a loss, you get all emotional. And then there, I think they call it the pity sex or something, or the emotional connection.
Wait, what
So
loss are you talking about?
he had a major loss in his life, death.
He had a death in his family?
Yeah. So when he had the death in the family, that's when everything else died even more.
Got it.
And I get it. That's understandable because someone major in your life has passed on, and you probably don't know how you're gonna move forward, but then having a spouse or a significant other who's going to be, who's there for you, you would think like you would get closer to that person. That's why I was saying sometimes people have emotional sex, or you get that you're vulnerable
Yes.
now and you have that stronger connection. But he didn't want that connection from me. I believe he wanted that connection from somebody else to comfort him, not me. And I know it wasn't another woman.
Right. Makes sense.
Has anyone ever questioned or hinted that your husband or your man might be gay? Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
geez. I mean, do we have another hour?
That was question 14 out of 15. We ran through that one real quick.
Right, right.
And so the final question after asking all of those is, do you have a strong gut feeling that your husband or partner might be gay? Let's
So
see.
the unfortunate part of that about that question is that while you and I and everyone else that's in that support group who now knows that their husbands are gay or their significant others or boyfriends, whatever, can say, yes. At the time, no. Like, read the question again?
I was about to give you the three
Yeah.
choices. Do you have a strong gut feeling that your husband might be gay? The first one is yes, I can't shake the feeling. The second is no, I don't think so. And the third one is sometimes, but I have doubts.
So this is the perfect intro to the rest of what we're going to talk about. The unfortunate thing is that we ignore our intuition. And as women, again, okay, maybe men that are listening and had gay wives, gay girlfriends. In general, we need to listen to our intuition, trust our gut feeling, and stop ignoring it because we are creating a person that doesn't exist in our minds and we are ignoring what's right there in front of us. And so, that question, well, now we can look back and go, yes, 100% yes. At the time, you and I may have taken that quiz 3 years ago and gone, maybe, I don't know.
Right. Whew. So let's talk about all the tea. Now we've asked the questions. Let's
So
talk
now we've
about the
asked the
tea.
questions. Yeah, so now
Yes.
we've asked the questions. Read the question one more time because this is the perfect intro.
The question, well, I was reading my results. Sorry.
Wait, read your results. Is your
It
husband
says
gay?
it says it's not, I don't have enough
I'm
evidence.
just
I don't have enough. It says
you,
I don't
okay.
I said, it
Well,
says I
I
don't have
do,
enough
so
evidence. So the last question was, do you have a strong gut feeling that your husband might be gay?
okay, so do you, everyone listening, for everyone, this, for me, the intent behind this episode was for women, again, or men, who believe that their partner may be gay, but they don't have enough proof. They aren't sure. They don't have exposure to the avenues to prove that they're gay. They don't have the knowledge. And so, what I wanted to provide for everyone on this episode, which is why I called it All the Tea, was the information that I now know that I never, ever, ever wanted to know. And when I say never, I mean this stuff burns in my brain with the deepest trauma. It is information that I never intended to have, but I am going to share with all of you because, again, our intent with this is to reach people, to help them, to assist them and give them support and go, hey, if you think your partner might be gay, if you think you might be in this situation, here are some things that you could possibly look at to get the proof that you need to tell your human brain that while you're ignoring the magenta, the rainbow flags, we are going to give you the absolute tangible proof that, yes, indeedy, the person that you're with is lying about who they are and is absolutely gay. So here we go. So we're going to start with the day that I found out again that my husband was gay. It had everything to do with websites and websites that I'd never heard of before. And in our support group, Straight Wives of Gay Husbands, I read these stories of women all the time who are like, hey, I know that my husband's got an account on such and such website. What does this mean? We are going to sit here one by one for all of you. So, by the way, if you're straight and you don't give a shit, you can tune out right now because because we're about to go down this rabbit
Just
hole.
remember to like and subscribe and pass it
Like
on to
and
your straight and gay
subscribe,
friends.
tune out for the next 5 minutes and then tune back in. But we're gonna go down the rabbit hole of all of the websites that these and again, just be you say this all the time. We're not here to bash. This is nothing against the websites. And this is nothing against people who use these websites representing who they actually are to the world. We are exposing this information for people who are using it as a cover, as a beard to carry on a double life. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So
All
let's
right.
start with one of the first websites that I discovered on my gay ex's phone, and that is called Sniffies. So for all of you that don't know what Sniffies is, and I laugh even saying it, Sniffies is not your average website. Sniffies is magic, and whoever created this website is brilliant because it allows the user to not have to create a profile. So that is instant magic, right? I don't need to go through all the effort, especially if you're closeted, all the effort of providing a picture and providing personal information and providing much of anything other than possibly a fake name. The app is location based. So the app it's not even an app. I apologize. This is a website. So if you go to www.sniffies.com, that's right, Sniffies, you should sponsor us because now we're actually giving you promotion. But if you go to this website, you can literally location based find any human being within a radius which you set who would like to hook up with you. It is a little circle on a map. It's like selling a house. And you click the circles on the map and it'll tell you this human is active. This human's ready to hook up. This human lives, 2 feet from you. And that's how these guys are hooking up with literally almost zero effort. You can inbox the person. Most of them say, hey, what's up? Available tonight? Hey, hottie, want to hang out? Look at well, they don't say looking good because there's no photos, but again, this website was one of the first ones that I discovered and thought, "Holy hell, what is going on here and what are these websites built for?" So, again, this is just a website that I'm attempting to give out to listeners so that they know if you think your man may be gay, go look for the location because I guarantee you it's going to show his location right near your house. We're going to go down the list. We've got the obvious ones. Grinder. Everybody knows Grinder. It's like the equivalent to the straight man's Hinge or I don't know, Bumble. And then you've got Scruff. Scruff is very similar. Scruff you can show your location, share similar interests, tell what your sexual preferences, if you're a top, you're a bottom, etc. These are the obvious ones, but I want to talk about some of the shadier ones, for example, the Sniffies one that I talked about, but also when they're closeted, they don't tend to go for the obvious social media sites because they're probably afraid that you might discover. So, one of the things that they do is they go on Craigslist, and there are Craigslist ads out there under the personals, under even for sale. If you were to go to Craigslist and you go for sale, do yourself a favor, girls, just search massage because a lot of these
I'm
sites are
going there
running.
now.
You a lot a lot of these sites are running under the guise of employment. So they say, "We are looking for a massage." You damn well better know that they're looking for a happy ending. And again, that is absolutely fine. 100% fine, but not when you're a closeted gay man in a relationship with a straight woman. So some of these Craigslist ads, again, I found my husband on one of these, say, looking for a massage, hit me up, come to my home. Here's my phone number. Text me at your leisure. etc. What
Now,
else?
I didn't find a massage. I found a lawnmower for $90. We might be on to something. We might be on to something.
Well, lucky you. I wish
Ain't no
that's all I
gaming in
found.
my location. We ain't got no gay over here. Ain't
I
nobody on
wish
my
that's all I
location.
found when I was going down this rabbit hole. Some of the other ones like you can go on Quora, you can go on Reddit, and then you can go on Facebook. I mean, again, I discussed in the last episode, my man was, messaging random strangers through Facebook. It's the obvious one, Snapchat with, gay or straight people use that for shadiness. But there's other sites, Growler. I don't know if y'all know what Growler is, but look it up. And then here's my absolute near and dear to my heart, rentmasseur.com. Now, again, I'm not here to shade this website, okay? Who knows? Maybe they
Can
want to
you
sponsor
repeat
us.
that again? Cause it looked like you went out.
Rentmasseur.com, my absolute
Gotcha.
favorite website. I don't know if they want to sponsor us because I guarantee you they are cajillionaires. So the men go on there, they advertise as if they have some type of professional license to be masseurs. But the entire gay community knows that you go on this website paying a per hour price for a hands on nude sex act. And the guys is crazy to me. It's just crazy that this website is legal, but it is cuz again, that's where I found my gay ex. That's where I found, since we're going to talk about the tea and not just the websites. My tea is about 24 hours after I discovered that my husband was gay and I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. I decided to do a deep dive into all of these websites where closeted gay men hide. And so, I, being the blonde mafia that I am, just B, I think they called me 007 at one point. I decided to create a bunch of fake profiles on all of these websites. I actually managed, I'm dying laughing thinking about this right now. I managed to catfish my gay ex multiple times. Multiple times. And it sounds funny to say now, but at the time it was extremely traumatizing because on these sites, they don't just advertise words, right? It's a profile, and these profiles contain photos. And the photos are not photos that you would find on a public website. The photos are extremely pornographic. The photos are things that you never want to see of your closeted spouse or partner, boyfriend, whatever. So when I discovered that my gay ex was on these sites, created the fake profile, went down that rabbit hole, found him, knowing his location at the time, I discover 2 to 3 dozen nude pornographic photos of this man in positions that I never, ever, ever wanted to see. And again, like, it's one thing to have seen your significant other nude, but to see them in this situation, advertising per hour, their rates, and then on top of it, oh, this is a whole nother thing we got to talk about. We got to talk about the four hands massage. So this is another thing.
You wanna save that for season 2?
Yeah, maybe we save that. Let me go back. So these are just photos that you never want to see your significant other in the and we've talked about the trauma and we've talked about the reality of it all. But the truth is these are things that we know now that we never wanted to know. And why I chose that route, I don't know. I've always sort of been morbid. I just am kind of sick like that. So that's just where my mind goes. Now, some people are going to be like, I don't want to see it, out of sight, out of mind. I can't handle it. I'm the type that's like I want to see
It said.
I want to see in his starfish and out his mouth. And I did. And that's the fabulous part. But let's go back to the stuff that we know that we never wanted to know. So, we talked about the magenta, the rainbow flags. Let's talk about aside from these websites, which I hope some of you check out if you're questioning whether or not your current partner is gay. There are other signs. For example, I washed my husband's laundry every day of his life for 10 years. Never. This man was so meticulous with his laundry. And all of a sudden, I started seeing brown stains in his underwear. I started
Girl, you didn't
seeing
put that man out there like that. You didn't put the man out there like that, y'all.
the man put himself out there. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this. He put
So
himself
that
out there.
means they're bottoms.
Look, it is what it is. You can read it on his
Alright.
profile. Put it on his profile. He put it on his profile. So I'm not revealing anything that's not out there for the entire public to see. But aside from brown stains in the boxers, now I'm not saying, yes, straight men have brown stains. They got issues, right? I'm talking either out of nowhere or constant, where you're like, I know my man doesn't have pooping issues. What is this? Or B, maybe blood in the underwear, right? Blood in the boxers. Maybe that's not normal. Maybe that's something that all of a sudden you see and you go, huh, what is this? What's going on here? Another thing, don't overlook it.
Yeah, you're speaking some truth here, and it could be an uncomfortable conversation. It could be shocking to some of those who are listening that are like, "What the hell did I just listen to?" But it's real. It's real, and it's not again, it's not shaming anybody, man. This is just what it is. It is what it is.
It's absolutely
But
not
for
shaming anyone. Women can take it in the back door and they have the same. Again, this is about signs to look for if you're in a relationship with someone that you believe may be hiding the fact that they're gay. That's all we're talking about.
so anybody that's on here that's not sure, that's, questioning, here you go.
And then we talk
This is
about
not random.
And then we talk about the metrosexual stuff, right? Like I talked about the fact that my husband could do extensions. My husband was an excessive groomer. My husband spent more time in the bathroom than I did. My husband had more bath and body products than I did. He never checked out women. What else?
He was a clean guy, right?
That's what
He
I
was a
thought.
pretty boy.
I thought it
He was a
Hey,
pretty
my
boy,
daughter used
yeah.
to call him Pretty. That was his nickname, Pretty. "Hey, Pretty." I used to write him love
Ain't
notes. "Hey, Pretty." Yeah. Why I
ain't
didn't
nothing
see that as a
wrong
red
with,
flag?
getting all nice and clean, just don't outdo me.
Right. Right. And then the last one that we haven't talked about yet is, and we mentioned it in the last episode, with the man that was involved with my gay ex-husband. He was on prep. So we want to talk a little bit what prep is. This is just education for women because I had no idea what prep was until
Wait, can anybody take PrEP?
I
Can
mean
women take PrEP?
I think
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
believe it was created for gay men. Actually, I you better look that up. I
Well,
actually don't.
I'm
That's a
on the
great
PrEP
question.
I'm on the
That's a
PrEP
great question.
website. It says
Maybe Prep wants
Mister.
to, sponsor us as well.
Listen, all these companies, we would like sponsorship.
So wait, what does it say? Do straight people
Let me
take PrEP?
see.
Here's what I know about it. They On these websites that we talked about earlier, they all advertise, "Are you on PrEP or are you not?" And of course, they all click, "Yes, I'm on PrEP." Here's what PrEP is. PrEP is a medication that was created so that the HIV epidemic went to sleep. So that if you were diagnosed, there's two situations. A, you're diagnosed with HIV, you start taking PrEP, and eventually, after enough years of being on PrEP, your HIV is undetectable. You don't hear people really dying of HIV anymore, right? Not like the 80s. So these people that were positive with HIV, they're now on PrEP. They've been on PrEP for maybe 5 years. Now they're undetectable. Now they tell everyone, I'm on PrEP, and they have unprotected sex with other male partners. Here's the problem. First of all, PrEP does not protect you from STDs, okay? So you can take PrEP all day. It is not going to protect you from gonorrhea, all the crabs, all the things that you're going to get in the meantime from having unprotected sex. But yes, thank God it's going to save you from HIV. The other side of the
But
coin
we can't
is
find a cure for cancer. Okay.
right, right,
Sorry.
right.
Rabbit hole.
The other side of the coin is a lot of these guys are just clicking, "Yeah, I'm on PrEP." You can say, "Yeah, I'm on PrEP." Half of them aren't taking the damn thing. They're just saying it, yeah, because they wanna have unprotected sex. They want everyone to think that they're clean, they're safe, and that's just great and wonderful, but that wasn't the intent of the reason that the drug was created. So, again, for women out there, this is what PrEP is, and it's not a cure all, but educate yourself. Know what that is.
So, yes, straight people can and should consider taking PrEP if they are HIV negative and at risk of HIV exposure, such as by not regularly using condoms during sex or having a partner with HIV. PrEP is a highly effective medication for preventing HIV and is recommended by the CDC for all sexually active people, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Who should consider PrEP? All of us.
No, I'm good.
I'm good. I hear PrEP, the first thing when I hear PrEP, I hear HIV. That's it. It's just I had to take a step back on that.
Yeah.
It says if you may benefit from PrEP if you are HIV negative and any of the following apply to you. If you're heterosexual and do not regularly use condoms during sex, if you have sex with partners whose HIV status is unknown, if you have a sexual partner living with HIV. Side note, and then what if y'all break up? Like, motherfucker, I was with you and you had HIV and now you breaking up with me and we in this for life. Okay. All right. No, you've had sexually transmitted infection in the past 6 months. All of this sounds scary.
Just for the listening audience, Just B's taking a drink. She's actually chugging. No, she's not really chugging, but the
Yes, the
visual is
hell I
on the
was. She tried to clean it up. I had to. Oh man, y'all just be the. But I say y'all, whoever's listening, we gotta be safe out there, man. Nobody cares anymore. No, everybody want to be happy. Be happy and careful. Damn,
Yeah,
because it's
that's the
like by
key. Be
2030,
careful.
everybody gonna have something.
Listen to your
Ugh.
intuition. Be careful.
It's not gas, it's your intuition.
And again, I said it before, this has nothing to do with being gay or straight sometimes. Straight people can be just as promiscuous, just as foolish, just as crazy. But this podcast is geared towards closeted gay men. So that's why we're talking about the websites we're talking about. That's why we're talking about these situations.
This season, yes, it's definitely for that. Next season, we're going into it as well next season. It is whatever is in your closet, whatever you feel like you want to talk about, and they're gay. No, I'm kidding. But, so this is get it out there. No judgment, no judgment, no judgment, no judgment. Don't get in your feelings. Don't come after us. We're all right. We need sponsorship. If any of the companies that we spoke of tonight would like to sponsor, that'll be great.
Wait,
Also,
now how
like
would
and
you feel?
subscribe.
Wait, let's talk about this like live. Let's talk about this. How would you feel if a bunch of companies that support the gay community wanted to come in and sponsor us? I think it would be fabulous. I think it would be like,
I
yes,
want to hear. I want to
let's
hear from
support.
everybody. That's the thing. I want to hear from everybody.
So we called this episode All the Tea, and this is the final episode of our first season. So with
It's
no
funny how we
further
started
ado,
the first episode with like 11 minutes and we ended it with like 45 to 50 minutes.
but with no further ado, is there any tea, just be, that you would like to spill at the end of the first season?
I'm expecting.
I
I'm expecting to go to bed after this cuz I'm tired.
no, it just meant like I didn't mean it like that. Is there any tea? Okay, let's each tell a story. It can be a short story. It could be a 160-second story. Something that we haven't spoken on that happened during our relationship with our gay husbands that you want to talk. Okay, I'll go first.
Do 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 do.
Okay, let me go first. Let me go first. Okay, because this is all the tea, all the drama. So the one story that sticks out in my mind, everybody, as Just B would say, everybody pour yourself a drink. Everybody listen up. Because this one's good. This one's freaking good. Okay. So my gay ex, he was a coach. I am not gonna give too much information, but he was a coach. And I say this only because coaches usually have the parents of the children that they coach in their back pocket, right? They are their heroes. They are, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're amazing. You care for my child. You are training them in the right way. You are an idol to them. And so, this is exactly the situation with my gay ex husband. So, when I find out that my husband is gay and I kick him out of the house, the first thing this man does is seek a roof over his head with one of the families who he coached at the time. And it happened to be a family where the wife was actually going through a divorce from her husband, and they had 2 sons who worshiped my gay ex. And the first thing he did was say, "You know, so and so, I've got a situation on my hands. Me and my ex are getting a divorce. My ex of all of 12 hours, and I need a place to stay. I have no place to sleep. Do you think I could sleep at your house?" And this woman says, oh my gosh, yes, Mr. So and so. Yes, absolutely. We love you, coach. Please come sleep at our house." So he proceeds to do that. And he tells me, he says, "Hey, I got a place to stay. I'm staying at XYZ's house." The mother of the kids that I coach, and I knew these kids. Of course I did. And he says, "This is where I'll be for the next, week or so while we work all the details of this situation out." And remember, as I said previously in this episode, one of the first things I did was go down the rabbit hole of creating fake profiles on all these sex sites and figuring out where he was and how he was hooking up with men and who he was looking to hook up with. And so on one of the sites that he signs up for, he creates a profile. And on the profile is a bunch of pictures. Now, keep in mind, I've been married to this man for 10 years, so I know this woman that he is now staying with. I know her sons. I know this house. I have been in this house prior. And on one of the websites that I created a fake profile for to look at the content, I see half a dozen photographs. And I'm looking, again, these are nude pornographic photos of my husband advertising his genitals to the gay community. I look at the background and I realize that it is the backyard of this place that he has chosen to beg to stay at. I'm I'm talking this man had absolutely no problem fixing his issue, which was I have no roof over my head because my straight wife kicked me out. Meanwhile, less than 24 hours later, shooting nude shots of his starfish in this woman's backyard. And I am looking at these photos. Wait, the best part, as I'm scrolling through and I'm swiping left and I'm looking at these photos and I'm like, "My God," I see the last photo, and the last photo is the most special. The last photo is actually taken inside her home, and it's taken inside of the family living room. And yes, I mean, the photo was taken far enough where even if you screenshot it and you closed in, you maybe couldn't completely make out the faces. But I made out the faces because I've been in this room. And while the man is close up on the camera with his pearly whites and his, all the things to see, you can see on the family fireplace mantle in the background all these sons who just worshiped him and who he coached for years in the background of these photos that are now on God knows how many websites advertising his hourly rates for sex. And I just thought, we have absolutely reached a new low. So these are the stories that I, not necessarily wanted to tell because again, the podcast is meant to help people, not traumatize them, but this is the reality of our situations. Like we may not all go down that rabbit hole of creating fake profiles and wanting to see all the things, but I did, and this is what happened to me. And so that's my tea and that's my drama, and that's one of the most gnarly things that happened to me when I first found out that my husband was gay. Your turn.
Oh, Imma keep it short.
Follow that.
Man, no, the first time I actually just saw evidence for me, I never forget we were on the bed watching TV and I guess he went to sleep and I was just laying down watching TV. At this time, I already knew what the situation was, but I still was trying to fight, call me crazy. I made sure I fought until I couldn't fight anymore. So I was on the bed, he was asleep, and something always telling me to do something. Something told me, look at his phone. And so I looked over and I looked at him like now I have James Bond playing. So I grabbed the phone and I unlock it because he still had the same password. I was like, ooh, I check his eyes, I check his breathing,
I've done that so many times. It's not even funny.
and I was scared. And then I was like, I gotta know. because I heard rumors. There were a lot of allegations, and, even though my own family members were telling me, but it's like you until you see with your own eyes. So, anyways, I slid off the bed. I actually stuck the phone in my drawers, in my pajamas, and I slid off the bed, and then I looked up, I popped my head up to make sure he couldn't tell what I was doing, and then I crawled to the bathroom, and I didn't lock the door. I just stood behind the door because I didn't want if I locked the door, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you have my phone?" And so I stood behind the door, and I hurried up, and I went straight to the messages. I'm looking through the phone, and I see the one of the messages or one of the people was someone that I knew. And that was really painful, and just reading the conversation, it seemed like more of a comfort each other kinda thing, because our wives are always gone. It was hurtful to see that I literally got dizzy, and the room just felt like it was spinning because I couldn't believe, 1, who it was, and once you have that inkling, even if you ignore that inkling, it was still in the back of my head, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I cheated in my marriage, because in the back of my head, I knew and I did not wanna believe it. I said in the beginning, this is not who I wanted to be in my situation. I owned it, though. I came home at 6 a.m. one morning, and, I'm saying a real man that got a woman, and your woman bring her tail home at 6 in the morning, you better snatch her ass up and be like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing coming home at 6 o'clock in the morning?" Matter of fact, a phone call would have been made at 1 in the morning. "Baby, it's time to bring your tail home. I love you. Come on, bring your tail home. What you doing out in the streets?" That. But when you're also doing something, you don't give a damn. And the crazy thing is the person that I did this with literally told me they're glad that it was with them, and they said because they always knew who he really was, so they did not feel guilty and seen.
That's actually valid. That's so valid. You never told I don't think you've ever told me that.
That person told me because they were hurting, and they didn't do it to be vindictive, they knew I was hurting because they questioned me, "What are you doing out here?" We were just hanging out. It wasn't anything that was planned, but I had to say something. I said it to hurt him because I was so angry and I wanted him to hurt the way I was hurting. So,
Well,
we just
I
want to
love
tell
that
y'all
tea.
thank you.
I love that tea revealed. I mean, maybe it wasn't as juicy as mine, but you know what? Some teas are just like tea can be stuff you gotta get off your chest. I
Yeah,
love
he
that this is
said
the way we ended our season, and I hope it entertained, but I also hope it
we went from
resonated.
11 minutes to 1 hour. Y'all stay tuned for season 2. We just want to say thank y'all for taking the time to listen, like, and subscribe. And even if our exes come across these podcasts, don't get mad, don't get offended, because again, you're free. You are the character, the main character in your story. And we are the main characters in our closets or in your closets.
Couldn't have said it better.
So no one should get upset. This is my story. This is my side of the closet. This is her side of the closet. This is your side of the closet. You live in your truth. Oh, you had the opportunity. So we are speaking. So everybody that's listening, stay tuned for season 2. Cause
It's about to
baby,
get
we got
real.
some more stuff. It's about to get real. Was this not real enough? It's about to get real, baby. So, like we always said, no matter the mess, no matter the fight, your side of the closet deserves the light. So, speak your truth. Don't run and hide. We'll be right here on the other side.
Have a
Peace.
great day, everybody.